Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm so excited to announce that today I'm going live with Dr. Naina, and she's not only a dear friend, but she's one of the best doctors around. I'm going to read you guys her bio since it's the first time that she's going to join me. Dr. Naina is a medical director at Naina MD. She's a MD, remember that, Beverly Hills for anti-aging, with extensive international client base, meaning wherever you guys are, you can still have a session with Dr. Naina, and she has served as ambassador for skincare, Gamble Olay Skincare. She's highly regarded for her expertise in anti-aging, regenerative and functional medicine, and she is doing the holistic. What I love about her, that she's working holistically, and she's also have researched for the last 15 years. She's also functional medicine and in integrative treatment, and she's launching her new age reversing complex skincare line. She's also coming out with her book, which is amazing. Like I said, it's a holistic beauty, start within, inside and out. And also, before I forget, she's actively involved with series to suit for abused women, to help them out to achieve financial independence. So I'm so glad and excited to share my dear friend, an amazing doctor, to you guys. Also for people, she's based in Beverly Hills. So for all of you guys who are living in Los Angeles, I mean, not only in Los Angeles, she has clients flying from all over the place to come and see her. But what I love about her, if you guys want to get some skincare or some beauty done in whatever field, even weight loss, she has the latest machines, and she's using, here she is. Hold on, let me get her 1 second. Okay. So she had client base coming from all over the place. But what I love about her, good morning, Dr. Naina.
Good morning. Good morning.
I was just telling my audience about your bio. I know it's much more expanded than what I have talked about you. But I was telling them that what I love about you is that even when people come to you for their skin and for their beauty regimes and also for weight loss, what you do is you get a lab test and you look at their blood type and all that. So without any further ado, guys, I'm just going to be quiet and let Dr. Naina take over.
So let's talk a little bit about aging and how the skin ages, right? Mm-hmm. We're all accustomed to just sort of saying, okay, maybe we've just not washed our face for a couple of nights and that's how it aged our skin, or we drank or we smoke or we, some of our lifestyle habits. But really, aging, and I really define beauty, starts from the inside. And in particular, I think this in today's show, because I'm such a biochemistry geek, I don't want to get too technical, mm-hmm. but the skin aging, there's 7 theories generally of skin aging, okay, or just aging in general. And the interesting thing is that if you address 5 of these main theories, and in my favorite are about 2 to 3 theories of aging, you actually end up reversing skin aging. It's sort of like a byproduct. So in my practice, it became like whenever a woman would come to me and say, you know, what can I do about my skin? And we start to look at internal imbalances. Not only we kind of over delivered and under promised, because not only did we achieve the skin benefit or the you know, the skin rejuvenation that my clients seek, but we also really did things from the inside. And that's really how I want to start today. So the first theory of aging is oxidative stress. It's like building up free radicals. Everybody's familiar with it. That's why we have a multi-billion-dollar industry of antioxidants, right? Chanel is always coming up with the latest, greatest antioxidant, every makeup line. When you go to Costco or any grocery store or health store, and you're suddenly getting all these antioxidants with ORAC values. So everybody really understands that oxidative stress ages us. And the interesting thing is that all the chronic diseases create a tremendous amount of oxidative stress. So anytime you start to have a diagnosis of, let's say, high blood pressure, rheumatoid arthritis, you have, let's say somebody says you've got even cholesterol, the cholesterol particles oxidize. So all of that actually addresses the, you know, oxidative stress issues. And chronic disease, we have probably autoimmune. I mean, you name it, and we're in oxidative stress. You drink too much alcohol, you're in oxidative stress. So it's really the balance. The balance is, can we neutralize all of the free radicals that we produced? Does our body have that capability? Or have we exceeded that capability, and now the body is going to start to form these free radicals that actually cause damage to the DNA, cause damage to, you know, many other biochemical reactions in our body, and then hence the skin will start to age. So and so there's also a whole thing with years of sun exposure cause oxidative skin damage and so forth. So that's really the theory of aging in an oxidative stress anti-aging theory in a nutshell. Second theory is that you have, you know, the shortening of the telomeres, right? The shortening of the telomeres, and these are on the end of the chromosomes. They're the tips, and these start to decrease. And as they start to decrease, well, you know, you suddenly start the aging process. So that's another huge thing. Mm-hmm. Then the third theory is that mitochondrial dysfunction. You know, as we age, the body's ability to produce mitochondria is decreased. And the very interesting theory is and you can ask, you know, I'm out of the box doctor. I'm an activist, so I always will sort of say, okay, ask a conventional doctor, what is optimum conditioning? And they'll say, well, your VO2 max, the amount of oxygen, you know, when they measure from the lung capacity. But how does that work? Biochemically, mm-hmm. The more mitochondria per unit of muscle mass that you have, the more oxygen you generate. So if your mitochondria, let's say, if you have, let's say 100, okay, and I've got 50, and your 100 is only working at 20% efficiency, and my mitochondria 50 is working at 90 to 100% efficiency, I'm more optimized than you are. So that is another theory of aging, which is very important. And the last one, which I really like, and these are the four main, I'm not going to go through everything, but these are my favorites. And the last one is glycation. So when we start and we consume, you know, sugar a lot, I mean, just 32 grams is almost like it's insane. 32 grams is a lot of sugar, right? Easily consumed in a day by people. And so glycation is when the protein bonds and the sugar bonds, they form, and they form especially in your brain, your skin, and other places, and they can't be broken. So it's like, then what do you do? And there's really not a whole lot that was addressed by a lot of skincare companies or even just people in general, because it's kind of hard to do that. And my patent, I actually have a skincare patent, it was based on glycation. Mm-hmm. Because I felt this theory was really being ignored. We really had other means to address all the other three that I just mentioned, but we really didn't. So this is a very important theory, the glycation theory. So these are the four main processes that are happening within ourselves that are leading damages. Now, anything that's going to disrupt, for example, imbalances like gut imbalances. If you have any kind of gut issues, colitis, you have, you know, ulcers, you've got irritable bowel, you've got any kind of gut issues going on, you're going to, again, have inflammation in the gut, and that's going to, again, affect your skin. Hormone imbalances. So if you have any kind of hormone imbalances going on, and we do, believe me, we are so inflamed with hormone disruptors, as you know. This is like my favorite topic, is the toxin exposure and hormone disruptors. So the hormone disruptors are so apparent, and that's going to affect your skin. And then we've got things like, you know, immune system imbalances. So that's how the autoimmune, like rosacea is an autoimmune skin condition. Psoriasis is an autoimmune condition. Eczema is an autoimmune skin condition. So, so much of this, right, is again, so that's again from the internal imbalances. And then your other main one is neurotransmitters. If you remember the gut-brain connection, a lot of anxiety, suddenly you're getting hives, you're getting wells. How come they all come up when you're like stressed, right? That's because you have a gut-brain connection, and there's neurotransmitters in the brain. So those imbalances. And then again, lastly, a lot of it is, to me, is the environmental skin toxin exposure. Our skin, my dear, is the most largest organ. And you talk about, this is where it's our antenna, right? Antenna to how we feel, how we sense, how we move. I mean, everything is through our skin. And people don't realize that. So those are pretty much the imbalances and the theories of aging that's going to affect the skin, you know. And I can't tell you, 95% of the people will have some sort of imbalance in some one or the other, you know, what I just talked about. So that's a, you know, that's a big issue.
Yeah. You see, this is what I love and adore about you, because you get so deep into the root cause. Like somebody's coming for their beauty and their skin. You don't just start doing the fillers and doing this and that. You say it has to start from within. We have to, and that's what separates you, because you're an MD. You know all this stuff, and with all the extent research that you have done, you really get into the root cause, and you say, hey, wait a second, before I start injecting some stuff in your skin, let's see what's going on internally. What is there gut, like you said, gut issue? Do you have IBS? Is your thyroid not function? Is it hormonal? And this is what really separates you from any other doctors. So that's, I really love this about you.
I think being an MD and also being out of the box MD, because if you just go to a regular doctor, and I was a regular doctor, and that's why you and I are really here to really start and promote this. It's just the start of this. We're going to getting into skin, but there's going to be many more issues that we really need to cover. And let me explain on a level where people, I think your audience can understand this. Conventional medicine, doctor, you're simply going to go to psoriasis, you either get on steroid or whatever, maybe a drug, or this is what is done. Allopathic medicine, we separated. We are using petroleum-based drugs. They all have side effects. They cause a side effect, then you give another drug to treat that side effect. And then you do this to do that, and then you get this amazing discovery for this, amazing discovery for this disease. Well, how did that disease start in the first place? It started from a biochemical imbalance, right? And people ignore that, people forget that. So the point I'm trying to make is that conventional medicine started on a Newtonian basis of theory, cause and effect. Okay, here's the cause, here's the effect, and the treatment. And now with the whole emergence, and there's nobody can even question it, is a quantum physics, right? Changed the concept. They proved, it's all evidence-based, that we're really a form of energy, correct? And so now if we're a form of energy, all our cells have energy, and we are really all emitting. So we're limited to thinking energy is just electricity or this, radio waves or something, but there is so much types of energy. Okay. So with the advance of quantum physics, we're all connected. So in other words, that is no longer cause and effect. It's like, what are the imbalances? What are the frequencies? What's happening to the cells in terms of electricity, in terms of energy? And hear me out on this. This is most amazing, most amazing. I don't know how many people even know this. Remember, we have the brain capacity to regenerate, and we have what we call mirror neurons, right?
Yes.
They can, that you can that's how we address brain injuries and things like that. Well, guess what we have? We have heart mirror neurons are located in the heart. This is huge. Mm-hmm. Now, with coherence and heart coherence, we can heal. We can collectively change an outcome. How about that?
God bless you. Yes.
You understand? This is really, and so my job as a doctor is no longer to tell you, you got the disease. If you don't take this medicine, you're going to die. Okay. Mm-hmm. My job is to tell you, here are some tools. Here are your imbalances I've identified for you. Maybe take certain these nutrients or the certain diet or these epigenetics. I call these nutrigenomic or epigenetics. Mm-hmm. And if we do have to do a medicine, because for short term, because you're so off balance, and let's do this medicine, but recognize there's a side effect to it and fix that side effect. Okay. And now you have the tools to empower your own healing. That's the only job of a doctor. So yes, I'm non-conventional, and yes, I get heat from the conventional side a lot, but this is the truth. We just got separated.
Yes, hey guys, let's
it's time to get the truth about
thumbs
medicine.
Up because this is what I love about her, and that's how doctors, skincares, estheticians should be functioning. Give us a yes.
And go ahead. So when you go, then let's just talk about, how do you get wrinkles and so forth. Let's actually go to another topic about how, like, when you go to the doctor and then you want to get you're getting the droopy chin or you're getting the tummy, and then you think, oh, let's just kind of, inject things that will either kill the fat cells, right? So that, and then if there's any loose skin, that can easily be cut, and then you can tighten it, right? But the whole idea about especially body fat is that, let's go to a machine like CoolSculpt. I'm sure the audience has heard of similar machines when you just kill the fat cells, right? So you kill the fat cells. Oh my gosh, I feel great. Look, I've but guess what? Is anybody from, again, a proper, holistic, quantum view, what did you just do when you suddenly, that's what the CoolSculpt does. It suddenly kills the fat cells. Okay, you suddenly kill the fat cells. What's the function of what is one major function of your fat cells? To help store your toxins. Mm-hmm. We are inundated today with toxin exposure. This is our number one, I think, killer of human beings, because it's going to affect every facet of our lives, is a toxin exposure. Okay, so now those fat cells store toxins. They're suddenly killed and you release them. What is the body going to do? Just eliminate, evaporate? No. It has to go through the lymphatics, right? That's the only way you can clear the fat. So you kill these fat cells, you're going to clear these toxins through the lymphatics. Now, if your lymphatics are not the proper diameter, let's say they're not working properly, you're going to back up, and then you're going to solidify. It's going to take you days to detoxify, and then you're going to wonder, how come after this CoolSculpt, I still feel a little bloated? Oh no, just give us some time. Okay, 4 weeks, the body finally heals. But then guess what? Months later, you start to develop these little nodules. And I get clients like this all the time. I have my CoolSculpt, but I got this little nodule. Well, the toxin redistributed. It redistributed, and you still have fat cells. It went somewhere else, and the fat cell said, sure, I got to take you as a toxin. I got to redistribute. I'm going to store it. And now you start getting these nodules or these other things. Why are we not addressing that? So there's ways. Okay, I'm a beauty expert, right? I do treatments. I'm saying, why isn't it that we're not following up with a glutathione treatment after, like an IV treatment, to help redistribute the toxins? Because we know that the average person cannot. And what if you had that woman who had so much cancer cells in her body, right? You and I have cancer cells. Everyone does. But when they get out of control is when the cancer becomes apparent, right? So what if that woman who had such a burden of cancer cells, now you released all these toxins, and now you say, oh, no. The treatment didn't even, it was not the last straw on the camel's back. No, this lady was, but there's no one's looking at this internal biochemistry. It's all about a sales pitch and before and after pictures. Half of them are already done in the different lighting anyway to begin with. So it's such a, to me, we're getting, the beauty industry is getting to be where the drug industry is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I'm not having a whole lot of respect for the way the advertisements and the advertising is being done. And if we just, again, look at that and we'd start to do a slow process, we pay attention to how guess what else glutathione would do? So not only after that beauty treatment, you would redistribute your toxins, but guess what? It gives you oxygenation. It helps your lungs. It gives you skin whitening, skin glow. Benefits for the skin. Ha. So it's almost like, how do you figure out and navigate to where you don't do any damage, but you do nothing but a positive. And all it does is take a few simple biochemical, knowledge, which we're not paying attention to, right?
Absolutely. Yes. Hooray for that.
Yeah.
Dr. Noina, I just want to share something with you. I was talking with Zara last night, and I know he's coming to see you today. So we were talking about the fact that when you work on someone's skin, well, number one, you send them to lab to get a blood test or saliva test or whatever, and then you go through that. But also I was telling him that when you work on someone's face, you change because you have that holistic and you have that, we've been in this awakening higher conscious for a while together. Because you're coming from that other dimension, you become an artist. You don't just inject things or do things. You are intuitively guided to where to touch, and you work
it's energetic. Yes.
Yeah, and you work so delicately that is like you're painting, an artist that is painting. And that's what I love about your work, because as you and I know, like these days, people are becoming so fake, like their face is totally changing, and it's like, and what I like about you, and I know why so many celebrities also come to you, because you work so lightly that the work is done, but no one can tell that you got something done with your face. And that's what a true artist is. It's like, I remember many years ago in 1980, around 1984, remember it used to be, we had that TV series Dynasty.
Yes.
And I took,
oh my gosh.
and I took a makeup artist course at Extension UCLA, and my teacher was amazing. And she used to tell us, she says, don't go by so much makeup. A true makeup artist is someone who's doing a makeup in a way that you can't even tell that you have makeup on. And you're doing that in a much more extended way. You do everything on the skin, but when the person comes up, you can see they look 20 years younger, but you can't tell if they get anything done to their face. And that's a bravo for that.
I will not, I usually tell my clients that if they are looking for that traditional look of that, I have amazing people to refer to. And, but a lot of my clients are the ones that are like, don't want to be, they don't want to hold, people just want to look good and feel good. That at the end of the day, that's really what we want, right? We really don't want to be, we don't want to be in a situation where like people, like somebody says, oh my God, you have a drastic work done on you, right? It's all about trying to do the minimal and achieve a maximum effect. But you're right, I do in my work. So again, there are energetic points. There's I forget the doctor. He came to visit me. He's phenomenal. He's in either Malaysia or Philippines. Okay, $10,000. Celebrities and all women pay him. All he does is, with the energy work, does a facelift. Okay, so there are people paying $10,000 for this. So there is there's a lot of evidence base for energy work. And all of that. So yes, we have energetic points, we have chi points and all these kind of things. And so in my practice, I'll take that into account as well, because it's so easy for me to just go into that multidimensional, like I can go into that the next frontier, okay, is going to be bioenergetic medicine. Anti-aging medicine, when I entered it, oh my gosh, so long ago, 15 years or so, it was like the Wild Wild West. It was like nobody wanted to like look at it. We were all supposed to be quacks, scam artists and everything. And maybe so, because all we were doing was giving growth hormone, right? And then we realized, wait a minute, that's not quite right. So we actually looked and really incorporated and trained, and now the doctors are phenomenal. They're being trained in functional medicine and aesthetic medicine, and and functional medicine is a hard training because it's looking at the root cause. And there's an institute of functionalmedicine.org. My mentor was Jeffrey Bland, leading biochemist. I'll never forget. I was lucky when he used to teach it at that time. I spent days, and he started at 7 and we wouldn't end until 10. Literally, this is like on and on, weeks sometimes at a time. So trained beautifully with him. He's phenomenal. He wrote a book called Genetic Nutritioneering, many other books. And the point of me telling you that is that when anti-aging became so evidence-based by incorporating all of this, now bioenergetic medicine is at this same thing. We've got a lot of quackery, but we've got a lot of evidence-based, and we're just starting to figure out with Tesla. It was too sad that Benjamin Franklin kind of just said, okay, the only electricity is a light bulb, or Einstein kind of said, a certain physics, E equals mc squared, that type of thing. But there is so much more with the Tesla and actually going on that will just get you into a whole new way of energy. And there's a fact, this is a scientific fact. One DNA strand, and we have many, as you know, just one DNA strand has enough energy to run a computer.
Wow.
So look how powerful we are. So look how powerful. And I think we're going to start really light like this because there's so much we can do for our beauty and all. But guess what? Ultimately, look at the world we're in. What is the point of getting all this beauty when you can't even go out and touch somebody because you've got a mask on? They're not even going to be able to see your lips, see your face. That's not how human beings were meant to be lived. So obviously, that I know that I feel that there's another agenda going on here. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not just when you look at, for example, the risk of the virus, getting the risk of the virus in our immune systems. Yes, this virus is going to hit everybody who's under oxidative stress, and we all are, because our stress levels are all these rheumatoid arthritis, high blood pressure, heart disease, and everybody's going to be scared, right? But guess what? The number of deaths are less than the number of swimming accidents. So do we stop swimming? There are less than the number of TB. 1,133 people, please fact check this, are dying of TB globally. Okay, much less. So what do? How come we're not masking? That was the original reason why a mask was developed, was for TB. Yeah. So how come that's not happening? How come there's less deaths than medical related errors, going to the hospital and getting the wrong medicine, all these kind of things? So why are we not going after that? Why is there not an awareness about that? So obviously it's just so odd. That's what I call it. It's just so odd that we're just focused on this. And so that's in our later shows. We will get into, some of those things and what we can do. But this is just the start, and we should open questions to the audience to say, what are the topics that you're interested in? Let's get you the truth about health, about your beauty. Let's really talk about it honestly, and let's dissect it. Every treatment that you want to have done, I welcome the audience to like ask us, and we should dissect that treatment. Say, this is what you should do beforehand. This is what you should do after. This is what it can do. Okay, this is how you can mitigate the side effect. So now you've given it such a thorough analysis. You can say, okay, I'm going to go in for this treatment, and now I know I'm going to be cool about it. I mean, everything's going to be great. But nobody's doing it.
Yeah, that is awesome. Okay, guys, we're opening up to questions, and if you guys have any comment or question, while we get the questions coming in, that's going so fast. They're putting too much effort. There is no instant miracle cure. Yes, there is no. Let me ask you this, Dr. Naina. For people who don't live in U.S., how could they have one-on-one with you on sessions, and how do you go about that?
I think they can just contact you you know, and then we can set it up through, we do a lot of like with the Skype, and there's a lot of telehealth and things like that that we can do. And certainly wellness, I always will tell, have your own doctor, because I can't examine you, I can't do those things. But if you're just looking for wellness advice for, you know, we do it in Europe a lot. I have clients from all over the world. And what we do is we just make sure that they have a doctor that we can, that they work with. But what we do is we simply, I will tell you, this is the blood test that I recommend. This is what, you know, these, based on this blood test, I'll give you my opinion on the interpretation. And then there's certain wellness regimens and that we can just actually recommend for you. And this is like, and these are just general. This is so much information they can get just by whatever that they're experiencing, that that we can actually help build them a wellness regimen, a lifestyle regimen, a nutrigenomic regimen, you know. And these are not really in the realm of, you know, medical treatments, right? They're just, they're amazing things that we can, just a different way of looking at your health. Yeah.
Okay, so here's the deal. Like, for instance, you can have a one-on-one session with people like I do, and then you tell them what tests they have, it needs to get done, and then they go to their lab and they get their test, and then they can send fax or send their text to you, and then you can see what the really underlying cause of, or the root cause is. Because as you and I know, many times I can see, because you know my background, and you know I work as an intuitive. Thank you. As an intuitive coach, so a lot of time I see someone has thyroid issues, and then they go and they do a test, and they come out and said, no, there was no problem.
That's because they didn't. That's because they didn't test it the integrative way, right? You just test it just based on just, again, the quantum approach. If you test it the integrative way, you can have thyroid dysfunction. So you don't have to have the disease. When you say thyroid issues, what are you saying? It could be an imbalance. It could be a dysfunction. It could be a nutritional imbalance. So
exactly. So we can do it this way. We can have them like have a session with you, and you tell them what test you think they need, and then they send the test to you, and then you go from there. But okay.
And our website, and you can guide them to our website. The best way to communicate is email. Email is the best communication, because every email gets checked over many times by multiple people. So
that is awesome. Yes. Dr. Naina, I want to tell you that I'm so grateful. That serum that you gave me, I wore it for the last couple of days, and I see my skin is so much better just by using it, like 3 or 4 times. Can you tell us
in the last few days? You look amazing, by the way.
Yes, thank you. Can you tell us more about that serum, the ingredients?
Yes. So I didn't want, this is my first product. Obviously there's other products in the pipeline, but what I came to realize is that every woman has her favorite moisturizer. She has her favorite La Mer or whatever, right? I didn't want to interfere in that. It's very difficult to get women to change their moisturizers that they might have used. Maybe some women just use, they literally tell me, I just use Cetaphil cleanser and I use coconut oil. I love it. So what I wanted to kind of formulate was food for your skin, right? What is the first thing after you cleanse and tone? What are the oils are not going to give it to you. Oils or hyaluronic acid is usually high molecular weight. It's going to immediately go on your skin and it's going to plump you. If you look at all the creams, most of them, all these different kind of oils, or they'll have these different kinds of, or vitamin C for the lightening effect with all these ingredients that you can't even recognize the names of, or they'll have a hyaluronic acid, which is the latest anti-aging thing, but it's high molecular weight, doesn't absorb through the skin. It just kind of stays, plumps it up. So people are happy, but it's not really doing much, right?
Yes.
So what I did was I said, okay, what is the first thing that you guys take in the morning? What is the basic 101 that a body needs? And this is, I'm going to tell you a story on this, okay? And you know me, I always go sidetracked and give you a story. When there was a nursing home study done on old people, okay, Evans, and he said, what are the top 10 biomarkers of aging? And he said the number 1 biomarker was loss of muscle mass. So what he did was there were nursing home patients that were level, you know, they couldn't get out of bed, right? So he did 3 things. Basic 101, protein, the fish oils or fats to absorb the protein, good fats to absorb the protein. So whether it's an avocado, chia seeds, you know, omega-3s, fish, whatever, right? To absorb the protein. And by protein, I mean the essential amino acids, 22 to 24 essential amino acids. And then the minerals, trace minerals, okay? So that kind of comes to what we know now is kind of like a protein shake, right? You take a protein shake and then you take either fish oil or you take an avocado or something, right? So I put, and he found through this experiment that in 4 weeks, these people were like getting out of bed by themselves. Pretty remarkable. Yeah. So I started thinking the skin aging, right? So the skin needs protein. So I put all the amino acids. I put all the amino acids into the serum. So that's food for your skin, number 1. Number 2, you have to have cofactors for those protein sources. So all the B vitamins. So you know how important B vitamins are. So yeah, all the B vitamins in. And then there's something that is really getting popular with these stem cells. You can't put stem cells in a bottle. I'm telling you, you can't do it. They're not alive, okay? You can't have live stem cells in a bottle. You've got to get rid of that myth right away. You can have proteins that signal.
Thank you for clarifying that.
You can. I'm not going to go that gimmick, okay? But you know, maybe you could get a lot of sales that way, but I'm not going to do it. So, but you can have growth factors or proteins that signal those stem cells, your own stem cells, right? And so growth factors became very popular. You look at Skin Medica, they have like a 1 ounce serum and then they're selling the Skin Medica. But do you know, a lot of these people, so what do you do at the expense of beauty too? You go, and I've seen celebrities talking about, oh, I have this, and this like derived from baby's porcelain skin or fetal amniotic fluid. I'm not going there. I don't know what the sourcing is. I don't know how those babies, how do you even got it? They always say, but I have tracked supply chains down, and I'll tell you, it's not always what you think it is, okay? So we just bioengineered these amazing growth factors. So there's no ethical issues. They're just proteins, you know, and it's like what insulin was from pigs. You know, we could do it in the laboratory. So there are growth factors. And then on top of that, I added my age reversal complex, which addresses the glycation process. And have a fat soluble, lipid soluble vitamin C. So it's not water soluble, but it's lipid, which is more effective. So, and then the hyaluronic acid is low molecular weight. It goes in. So when you use a serum, it's like, okay, where did it go? So yeah. I say it's just food for your skin and the proper food, no ethical issues, no toxins, no nothing, just food for your skin, and then go do whatever you need to do. Use your favorite, moisturizer, put it as a primer. A lot of my makeup artists are using it as a primer with their, just underneath their makeup. So, you know, anyway, but it's first thing should be that after cleansing and toning your skin.
Exactly. So basically what you're saying, a lot of products that we buy out there, because the molecules are so big, there's no way, it just sits on your skin, but there's no way for it to absorb into the skin. Exactly. And also I have to say something about this. Like this morning when I was going to wash my face, I saw that it was still feeling the same. Like what I love about it is because I have oily skin, I always tend to be towards oily skin. And I remember in my old time when I was pursuing my acting, in my commercial class, my teacher used to constantly tell me, get rid of the shine. Like in a few seconds, I would get this shine all over my face that is not good for camera, you know? So I had to constantly tap myself. Right. And that still continues. But what I liked about this, that as soon as you put it on, it doesn't have a greasy film, like it just absorbs right away, and it feels like it's very dry. And that's, I loved about this texture, that it's not greasy, especially for me who has such a greasy skin.
Yeah.
That is wonderful. So Dr. Naina, can I ask you to give us, because a couple of people have asked, what is the best beauty skin regime? Like, what do you say? How do we start our morning? What do we do at night?
Okay, the best thing to do, never forget to always so the best thing for a beauty regimen is and it depends if you have oily, skin. Let's start from the inside. Detoxify. You've got to. My favorite is getting up in the morning, warm glass of water, and taking a lime, green lime, and using. And then during the day, taking. If you've got acne, taking cloves, boiling them, and drinking them. If you've got diabetes, to add cinnamon to it so you can lower the blood sugar, and boil the water and drink it throughout the day. If you have your oxidative damage, if you're like going to be out in the sun and all, start drinking green tea 2 hours before. Every 2 hours you should be having a cup of green tea, because that's going to prevent the sun damage. Catechins really reduce the oxidative damage for out in the sun. So it depends on what purpose. So, but these are three things I've already mentioned. Cloves, if you've got acne, clove water, and cinnamon if you've got the diabetes issue, and doing green tea before you go out in the sun, okay? And taking Coenzyme Q10. Did you know that your levels of Coenzyme Q10 fall by 50% if you're going to be driving? And this is because we drive. We live in big cities. You're driving for about an hour, and you're going to be out in the sun, and nobody addresses that. So take 100 milligrams of Coenzyme Q10. It'll have other benefits, but this is for skin. And then have the protein, right? You need to give yourself protein. Don't forget the importance of protein. So take I like a protein, whether it's a plant-based protein, whether it's up to you, but do some sort of protein in the morning. And you have to have fat, right? You have to have fat. So either an avocado or some fish oil tablet, which is mercury free, or you can have egg whites, something along those lines. Then, and some people are sensitive to dairy, obviously they're going to go with the avocado. So the next thing that you should do is think about the minerals. So don't take a good mineral, like trace mineral product. It's very important. Your basic
like what would you recommend?
I use Energy Boost 70. They're fulvic acid derived minerals. They're organic. The company's been around so long. And so I have all my clients on that. Energy Boost 70. Morningstar Minerals makes it. It's a great mineral. And there's other trace minerals that are done. But recognize that when you do trace minerals, you end up also helping your thyroid. You end up helping your immune system, because they have all the zinc, everything. You have all the trace minerals. So that's very important. And vitamin D. 90%. It's so odd. Again, conventional medicine. Oh, the dangers of too much vitamin D. 95% of my clients are below their levels of what they should be. They're not optimum. So I ask my clients, right? You were too, right? You were, and guess what? And guess what we found? It just said insufficient, right? I don't know what the range is. It's not optimum. Your levels need to be 60 to 70. Okay. Now, 60 to 70, above 100, I agree. It can cause some side effects and all. But right now with the COVID virus, with everything going on, your levels need to be between 60 to 70. But guess what? We were talking, I'm not a conspiracist. After 20 years of following these vitamin D levels, guess what the labs are now saying? Anything above 50 could be potential dangerous side effects. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. Above 100, above even, 80. Not 60 to 70. They should have made those levels at least up to 70. And I'm just appalled to see now. And then obviously my conspiracy mind works is, okay, why is that? After 20 years, I'm seeing now vitamin D levels have to be kept at 50, which is now what I'm going to tell my patients. I can't get them up to 70 because they're going to have potential dangerous side effects. So it's just weird. It's just weird that these things happen. You go to the biochemistry textbooks, you look at it, it tells you the way you measure it. It's, stop studying the reference ranges. Stop looking at this at these studies. I'm a mathematician. Half of these studies looks at a vertical. It never looks at the other things. Keep your levels of your LDL below 40. Okay, I can understand that in a person who's had a heart attack. We really don't want him making any cholesterol. But An average person, you keep them there, they're at a risk for cancer because your starting point for all your hormones is your cholesterol. So there's so many ways to play science now that we've created pseudoscience. Okay, so I just go back to the biochemistry books. I just go back to basic 101. You know, open up the textbooks, read all the transporter, all the geek stuff, and that's what I recommend everybody should do. Stop listening to the media. Stop listening to some stupid magazine. They're probably being paid by God knows who. Stop reading just mainstream and conventional things. Go into the textbook. Get a love with your children. Look at the textbooks. You know, even if you don't understand it, when you keep repeating and repeating, you start to get it.
Yeah.
So that's, yeah. So I got sidetracked. So yeah. So I think that's a great way to start the morning. And then during the day, you know, make sure like you're taking some, believe it or not, we're very low on antioxidants. So take a few blueberries, a few raspberries. I just, during the day, did you know that your body can't make vitamin C? So dogs can make vitamin C, but you can't. So it's very important to give every 6 hours, they decrease. So give yourself something like a few berries, you know, a couple of pieces of an orange or something like that. If you've got diabetes, be careful of the blood sugar, but you can do vegetables. You can do, you know, limes. A shot of lime is full of vitamin C, you know, a little lime shot. So, you know, that's a really good way during the day. And then at night, you just have a good dinner, which is, again, you're just a basic protein with a lot of veggies. And just, it's very common sense. But the skincare regimen at night, cleanse and tone your face. Cleanse, tone, and use hyaluronic acid. I love hyaluronic acid. Obviously, I love my serum, but at least cleanse, tone, and use some sort of a hyaluronic acid, and then use an oil. If you have dry skin, use some sort of an oil on your face that works for you. You know, it's very important. People forget the importance of oil.
Exactly.
So I would do that. Yeah, it's very simple, a lot of these regimens. So yeah.
Dr. Nana, we only have a few minutes left.
I know.
So
I've got to go I've got another meeting and a thing, but absolutely. Tell me what
I just wanted you to clarify for people the difference between protein and collagen and peptides.
So protein is, it depends on what kind. If it's whey protein, you get all your essential amino acids. Okay, these are all these 22 amazing essential amino acids. But if you have plant protein, you get a lot of the amino acids, but you don't get cysteine, which is a very essential amino acid. So you may not get that. So you have to recognize that if I'm taking plant protein, I might be deficient in the cysteine. If you're taking pea protein, especially, you really are low. You actually can get low levels of cysteine, which is a very important amino acid to make glutathione to help you detoxify. Yes. And then collagen is just dead bones. People don't understand. And the reason they feel good is because they aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. So if you don't do anything, okay, if you didn't do anything for your skin and you just went and got a facial, obviously you're going to feel great. And you got 3 facials, you're going to feel even greater. Same thing with the collagen story. If you were really doing a proper protein and proper fast to absorb the protein, what I just mentioned, and your vitamin D, that's all you need. But collagen is just dead animal bones. And you know, there's also dead human bones. You need to look at the FDA. It's a bovine source. So and then the collagen has to be hydrolyzed. So you have to look for a hydrolyzed collagen, because if you don't have the tryptophan and all of those things to digest the collagen, you're not going to be able to break it down. So it is a kind of a gimmick in a way, but everybody feels good because they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So I prefer it's kind of contradictory to me to be on a raw, whole, healthy diet and then taking dead animal bones, right? So you can do it intermittently, but I don't recommend it for a long term. So 3 kinds of collagen you can have: for bovine, hydrolyzed bovine collagen, and then it comes from an egg membrane, okay, hydrolyzed, and then you can come from a fish, right, from a fish source. But there's a lot of things happening. Again, a lot of things happening. I have tested. I had to formulate a collagen supplement, and it turned out to have fetal proteins, which is baby protein. So I'm not going there. I just think you should be very careful of your collagen sources, and be very careful. And if you actually do what you're supposed to be doing by taking your proper protein and your proper fats and your vitamin D and your minerals, then you may not need to do your collagen. I personally don't do collagen. Okay. And I have amazing, health and God's, God's grace, everything, because I follow those regimens. But if you ask me, do I do my protein? Absolutely. Not one day. And when I didn't for 2 months, started getting a few rashes, I could see my immune system go down. So that's strongly recommend that. And peptides are good. Peptides are a certain group of amino acids, so it depends on which peptide that you're putting on the face. Some for relaxing, some for wrinkling, some for that. I have no problem. But look at what in your mix. Look at the other toxins that it may have, because it does. And so a lot of the skincare ingredients do that. So that's the thing about the collagen and the peptides and the proteins.
Fantastic. Dr. Nana, we're going to end this live. I want to tell you again and again how grateful I am that I know you're extremely busy and you have shared this time your wealth of knowledge. Thank you so much. But before I let you go, I need to get a promise from you that we could do this live ongoing to help other people to really understand what functional medicine is.
Yes.
And I've been trying my best for the last 20 years being on Persian television to tell people that we got to start, everything is within. We got to go there. We got to see that before we come out and do something here. So can I have that promise? Yes, for weekly interview.
Yeah, we'll do that. Absolutely. I told you next week, as of the Thanksgiving, I might have to be with my mom, but but after that, yes, we'll do the regular Thursdays. Okay.
That would be fantastic. Thank you so much. Love you.
Love you.
Thank
Love
you, everybody.
Love
bye
you, Sudi.
bye.
She's fabulous. Oh my gosh. I so adore you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Love and blessing. Thank you.
Bye bye, my dear.